Alright guys, we are back and we're going to do some Q&A with you guys. And we're going to take some of the top questions here. So we're going to start off with Not at Keyboard. He asks, how much do you think arena experience and skill transfers to constructed gameplay, seeing as Trump, Hafu, and Ecop all hover around High Legend at the moment? Trump, I'll let you take it, obviously, since this is I think more geared towards you.
Okay. I think the skills transfer either way, but it's definitely not complete. When you play constructed, you need to really focus on one, like the deck that you're playing and its strengths and weaknesses, and you need to have an experience of what is going on, basically. And that's really difficult if you don't play it. You need to just play and figure out what's going on right now. What do the masses play? Is your deck strong against that? How can you make your deck stronger against that? Do you need to jump ship to another deck? So the arena skills that do transfer are generally, in arena you're always going to have essentially a mid-game deck, and you're going to be against a mid-game deck, and you have a lot of different scenarios come up, and you get more adept at spotting like the hidden play because you've just had so many experiences with unorthodox boards. So that translates, and just generally good concepts such as card advantage and making sure you make the good trades. That's what transfers over. So basics, but it doesn't transfer over completely. It's a completely different world. And vice versa.
Yeah. Gaara, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think what I could add is that the transition might last longer from arena to constructed, because also like there are like cards have completely different value in arena and in constructed. Like some cards are completely trash in arena, but insanely good in constructed, and like to kind of change the mindset that you play constructed to deal 30 damage to your opponent, like to win the game. It's like a different play style. It's not just high value trades and card advantage. But of course the experience and everything what Trump said, of course, that's right.
Yeah. I can at least talk a little bit of my experience, just never playing a TCG before. And I kind of just jumped into Constructed just because I don't know, I just love the whole deck building aspect of it. But I do have a little bit of regret that I should have started out with Arena, because I feel like Arena really trains the base, like you were saying, Trump, the basics and the mechanics of playing a card game more so than the Constructed, because having a mid-range deck, I mean, really puts you in those kind of board control scenarios, tempo, just tempo advantage, all those kind of things. And I think Arena trains that a lot better. So going from Arena to Constructed, kind of having that fundamental base, I think can be better overall, because I feel like that's the part, probably the part of my game that's the weakest right now, is just some of those type of scenarios. So it's always good, but we are seeing we were seeing a majority, I think, of the Arena players transitioning over to Constructed pretty well lately. So that's kind of cool. All right, next question. Oset358, he asks, do you think Leroy Jenkins is a well-balanced card? Consider that his battle cry, which is supposedly his balance factor, is pretty much always irrelevant. Gaara, you want to answer this one?
Didn't.
So do you think that Leroy Jenkins is a well-balanced card, considering his battle cry is supposed to be the thing that balances him, but for the most part, the whelps are irrelevant?
If I would be like working for Blizzard, that would be like the first card I would nerf. Like I really hate Leroy Jenkins.
Okay.
Like I think it would also balance hunters way better than nerfing Unleash the Hounds, because my prediction is like when you nerf, like before Unleash the Hounds was buffed, Hunter was dead class in Constructed, and then they over-buffed one card, and then Hunter became like the absolute dominating class with the aggro version first, and then the mid-range Hunter. And now, after the nerf to Unleash the Hounds, it just goes back to the point before the buffed Unleash the Hounds. And I think it's all those decks are with the combo around Leroy are too strong in my opinion. Like the Miracle Rogue with the 30 damage in one turn, or the Endless Card Draw with like Endless Card Draw and Leroy Jenkins are like the big points, nerfing points in my opinion. And yeah, it was this. In my top 3 cards were Thinkmaster, Pagel, and Leroy to nerf. They did it with Pagel and Thinkmaster, and I'm still waiting for the Leroy nerf. So yeah, in my opinion, Leroy is too strong.
All right, strong statement there. Trump, what do you think?
I think Leroy is the most played legend right now. It's in 2 very popular decks, the Miracle Rogue and the Handlock, and some aggro decks use it to finish. It's really strong across the board. And yet it doesn't look that strong when you consider it just an aggro deck, because, I mean, when you look at just the aggro deck, when you combine it with Shadow Step, it gets pretty insane. And Unleash the Hands. But, man, I think it's a powerful card. I don't know whether or not it should be nerfed. I rarely play the card myself.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, the original question was just really, I guess.
Wait, what am I saying? I rarely play the card myself. I constantly play the card now. I used to never play the card, but now I play Handlock. I never think it's that good in Handlock. It's just 4 mana, deal 6 damage. But I understand that when you combo it with others, it gets more insane. I think it's fair in aggro, and I think it's fair when you just use it as a finisher. But when you use it as a 24 damage finisher, it's a bit crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, in Handlock, it's a 20 damage finisher too, right? So it gives it extreme range, especially in the mirror matchup. It's like dropping under 20. You're always scared in that matchup. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, definitely, I think the balance team doesn't just look at it in a vacuum, just what happens when you play Leroy Jenkins, and you know it's balanced because the 2 whelps are supposed to remove Leroy. I don't think they look at it that way. They probably try to take everything into account, but no doubt it's really, really powerful right now. Pretty interesting that you think that it should be the next in line to be nerfed though, Gaara. So, but I can't completely disagree with that too, because the power is pretty prevalent right now.
On top of that, I couldn't say like how to nerf that card. If you like nerf anything about it, it would be too weak. Like
exactly.
Yeah, agree.
That's the thing. Like
5 damage be too little.
Yeah, like giving your opponent 2 whelps, maybe like. But if you remove the whelps, it's not a Leroy Jenkins anymore. If you know the lore.
Yeah.
So I really don't know how to nerf the card.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Smog the Stupendous asks, I think the question on all of our minds would be if Trump is interested in doing a duet with Amaz.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yes, it's going to happen. Okay, do you know what song you're going to sing?
Oh yeah, we're talking about it.
Oh my god, this is going to be awesome. Alright, on a serious note, however, which deck would each of you guys consider to be the most solid and stable deck to take to Legend? I guess if you were to start today. Trump, you want to take this one?
Oh boy.
We just talked about how awesome the metagame is, and now he's asking us basically what deck is the best, in a way, I guess.
This is going to be a cop-out answer, but play something that fits your style and generally has strong cards in it, and that will be a solid and stable deck.
Okay. I mean, match your style. I mean, like I said, the metagame is pretty good right now, so you can choose a variety of decks and get to Legend, right? Gaara, do you think there's a particular deck that's easier to ladder to Legend than the others?
Well, I think Druid was like always a really consistent class. Like I think Watcher Druid is really consistent. Like to get Legendary, you need just about 50% win ratio. And to really, just to achieve that, like I would really recommend to play Druid and Handlock right now. Okay. It's like really solid in the current meta game.
But the Watcher Druid, not the Ramp Druid?
Yeah, not the Ramp Druid, the Watcher.
Okay, Malstank, yes. To Gaara.
Well, I'm going to actually
Go
cover why I didn't say a specific deck. Like I considered saying Druid, but one of the things that I found about the Watcher Druid is that it's too slow against something like Miracle Rogue, and the Miracle Rogue would just get too much time, and they just run you over. And against the and for running Handlock, the reason why I wouldn't say it's a solid stable deck is because you've got all the big game hunters and the Black Knight hate coming in right now. So it's really hard to give an answer to that, and I just think in general, play something that fits your play style. And I think that if you want a solid and stable deck, go with something traditionally solid and stable. I guess Strode would be the most appropriate answer, yes?
But yeah, I agree with that. Like if you try hard enough and you really adjust your deck to the metagame, people hit legendary with all kinds of deck. Like they're priest hitting legendary, paladins, like everything. It's really completely true.
Okay, next question.
In some way,
Okay,
going
John
with a
just wants to
solid
get-
and stable deck
Go for
is
it.
the wrong way to go to Legend, because if you face a field of decks which is anti-solid and stable deck, which would be something crazy like a 28 damage burst or etc., then you're not going to get to Legend because your solid and stable deck is not solid and stable in the circumstances. That's all.
Okay. Can I go to the next question now? This time? Alright, Mouse Tank. Next question for you guys, Gaara and Trump. If a deck were going to emerge as the top dog of Constructed right now, this is the same thing, right? We just talked about this, so we're going to skip down. Goggle Candy ask, no, we've answered this in the past. Basically, the arena about drafts, whether drafts or picks for play actually matters most. Let's see. Okay, let's see. DRT0 asks, has the Unleash the Hounds nerf affected Hunters matchups? Are there any new decks that take the changes into account? And is Unleash the Hounds still a must-have card? Definitely seen some different Hunters, at least I have. Or at least people trying different things. But, I don't know, would you say Unleash the Hounds is still a must-have card? At its given state, Gaara?
Well, I would say no, but if you play a hunter without Unleash the Hounds, like all beast cards are really low value cards. Like when you think about the pig, it's a 1/1 charge, or the Timberwolf is a 1/1. Like all hunter cards, or if you don't play secrets because secrets are bad, then your Longhorn Boar is a worse version of Fury Vorax. So in general, the hunter class is just terrible. Like if you don't base your entire deck around like a combo with drawing a lot of cards and just overwhelming your opponent. But I actually played a counter rogue deck, a counter hunter, like a hunter counter miracle deck, and with snipes and freezing traps.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I really have a high win ratio against rogue specifically, but it's good for tournaments. You can play like a tournament deck without Unleash the Hounds. But for constructed, I think no. Like it's just bad. Like if you play a hunter deck without hounds, I think it's just too weak.
Okay. Trump, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the way that it affects the hunter matchups is actually being seen in the metagame right now. Shamans and Paladins got hated out basically because Unleash the Hounds was too strong. And now that Unleash the Hounds is reined in a bit and hunters are less popular, Shaman and Paladin is more popular. And that's why I had the prediction earlier that you could see that 3-mana Unleash the Hounds come back because it's still really good if there are a lot of Shamans, Paladins, things that put out a lot of minions on the board.
Okay. I guess the rest of the deck probably being pretty similar. I mean, Trump, like the hunter decks that we've seen, or do you think, can you see any kind of maybe mods that would make it a little bit better, given that Unleash the Hounds would be, added mana. Probably have to play a little bit later.
What was the first part?
You see the same type of hunter though, like just basically the mid-range hunter that we've seen, or do you think there'll be some changes even to that type of hunter?
Yeah, I've seen. I keep an eye on the Hearthstone Red in particular. Like a few days ago, I saw some post about I took a hunter deck without Unleash the Hounds to Legend, so
Yeah.
it's certainly possible. And I think it makes sense because Unleash the Hounds at some points is really bad against the metagame, such as against Miracle Rogue. And Gaara provided a really good example of how to take advantage of the metagame, bring a deck, uh, take out one of the cards that theoretically should never be taken out and Unleash the Hounds and get a favorable win rate against that deck. And if that deck is a lot of the decks currently in circulation, you're going to do well. So, boy, what was the question?
I was just thinking, like, you were talking about the return of the hunter. Is it just going to be the same hunters that we've seen, like the same?
Yeah, I mean, it
type?
could be,
Yeah.
because the old Hunter is still really good against decks with a lot of guys out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. We'll take a few more. Silent Death 113 asks, with the way Blizzard is releasing the Nox expansion, do you think that some classes will be at a significant advantage over the others because they get their new class cards first? And do you think they should have done it better? Or do you think they should do it better? Since it hasn't happened yet. Who wants this one? Trump, you want this one?
Let Gar go first on this
Okay,
one.
Gaara, what do you think?
I mean, that's just wrong. Like, no matter how you look at it, that's just wrong. Like, that's some classes get their OP cards, like in quotes, first before other cards, before other classes. I mean, there will be like many riots.
What? What? I mean, there's not that much time period between the releases, so.
How much is in between? Like, how many days is it, or?
It's a week between each release.
Yeah, it's a week between each release. So I mean, it's like.
Okay, so there will be like pretty much every week a different meta, but it was like this already before, so.
Well, there's no doubt that people are going to gravitate towards the new content, right? So whatever that first release dungeon is, and whatever cards come from that, everybody's going to be playing that class just to try out the new cards, I'm sure. But Trump.
Yeah, 1 week is not that long.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm really shocked at your answer, guys. So you don't like the way that certain classes are going to get a boost in power?
Oh, I didn't say I didn't like that. I just think that I was just stating the facts that a lot of people are going to play, those new cards or those classes. So there'll be a ton of people playing, say, the rogue class if that's the first one. But Trump, so you feel
I thought that some classes get their cards first before other classes.
Yeah, Trump. So you feel differently on that?
I mean, you don't know what order they're going to get the cards in.
Yeah, you don't know, but I don't. Do you think they're going to release all the class? I mean, I don't think there's going to be enough cards in the first release that's going to cover all the classes, though.
Right. I mean, 9 classes, 4 wings. There's probably going to be 2 class cards per wing, I figure.
Yeah.
So, like, for a week, those 2 classes are going to get 1 extra card for, like, a week, and then for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc. It's going to be of minimal difference, I figure.
Yeah.
I would also like to mention that it's called Nax.
Oh, Nax. Did I say Nox? Oh, I said Nox. Yes, Nax. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Pronunciations. Okay, so yeah, I don't think it'll be, given that it's only a week apart. I mean, it's going to be 1 month, and at the end of the month, I think all the classes, all the decks will be there. But there will be, like, I think this huge migration towards those classes every time. Really make them more powerful than the others, but we'll see.
I wonder if tournaments adjust, like if those, like in
that's a good
mobile games, like when there are new heroes released, they're not allowed in tournament plays for at least 2 months. So I wonder how they will handle that.
Yeah, I think DreamHack is going to be around that time. So
Yeah,
this is going to be an interesting period if it's literally in the middle of or just in the middle of the entire expansion release. So that's going to be pretty. Because it's normally, I think, is it end of June or is it early July? I can't remember exactly the date of DreamHack right now.
June.
It's the end of June. Okay, so that'll be interesting. It'll be crazy if it's the first week. If it's the first week of the release and they have DreamHack, that's going to be wild. Crazy wild. Okay.
Yeah, and even just a few cards, like just 1 or 2 cards, would affect this tournament and the entire tournament, like dramatically.
Yeah, definitely agree. Okay, let's take one more question here. And okay, it's a question about Doomsayer. What do you think about Doomsayer in the metagame? It's a great stalling card and it has a great utility, especially turn 2 against Zoo to almost completely break the tempo. It can also be used late game to create a setup turn to drop the big legendaries. Thoughts? I've tried this in Control Paladin with some good results, floating around rank 3 right now. Gaara, have you ever tried Doomsayer? Or have you
Yeah,
tried
of
Doomsayer
course.
recently?
Of course. The thing what I don't like about Doomsayer is like, with which other card could I compare it? That is like equally bad. Um, I can't think of any. Like the thing is, you need to have it. You know, you need to have this card in your opening hand. Yeah, like you can compare it with the current Pagel. Like Pagel is still good, but no deck plays it because it's really terrible late game. Like when you top deck a Pagel right now, like it's still an awesome card as a like when you coin it out, but it's not playable. And the reason why you don't see so much Doomsayer in play is because it's really good when you have it in your starting hand, but it's a terrible top deck card. Like you have to kind of build your deck around it. You can't just randomly play a Doomsayer in any deck. Like you need it in a stalling deck, and if you don't draw it, it's yeah, cool story.
Trump?
Yeah, it's good.
It's... Oh, it's good.
It has its purposes, and it's bad against Miracle, but since Miracle isn't as popular right now, it's good in the right deck.
What's the right deck? I mean, the only deck I can think of right now is... I mean, the Freeze Mage obviously was one,
Yeah.
because it has a mechanism to freeze the whole board.
The reason why it's good in Mage because it's always good whenever you draw it.
Yes, because you have a card that
Yeah.
can always freeze the board too. The silence is a killer, and I think a lot of classes run silence right now. So that's one of the reasons why it's not. I think it's not super popular now. But any other classes have a mechanism to combo with Doomsayer, and it'd be really good outside of like your turn 2 kind of play and that sort of thing. Is there anything else? I can't. You guys think of anything? Yeah, I can't think of anything either. So, I guess that could sum up one of the reasons why it's not good in the metagame right now, just because it might not be good in any metagame, given that there's just not very many good things to combo with it. 7's nice. I mean, it does absorb 7 damage, though, so it can always still function that way. But overall, yeah, I think the whole removing the board type of thing doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you really count on it to remove the board and then it gets silenced, you pretty much lose the game
Yeah.
most of the time.
So it looks like he tried it in Control Pally. I remember trying a long time ago in Control Pally. And again, it's like Gar said, like late game, it's pretty worthless. The card's pretty worthless late game. So, okay. Well, anyways, that's going to be it for Q&A, guys. And that's going to be it for the show. We're going to wrap the show. It's great having you on, Gaara. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, awesome. You want to do some shout-outs, thank yous?
Of course, shout outs to all the people who are watching my stream and following, and I want to give a shout out to you guys and Trump. Like, it's the first time that I'm actually talking to him.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Nice. Trump, want to do some shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Gar for being a nice guy.
The
And
love.
wow, all these guys watching right now. You guys must be the most awesome audience. Yeah.
Yeah,
So pat yourself on the back. Shout out to you.
that's right. Oh, I forgot there's one thing I wanted to talk about. I forgot to.
And shout out to what ChanMan's about to talk about.
I wanted to mention the Tavern Takeover. I totally forgot about that last weekend. That Trump was actually taking part of. They did such a great job. What did you think of? What did you guys think of just the whole broadcast production of the whole thing? Trump, I'll ask you since you were in it. No, you don't want me to ask you first? Okay, I can ask Gaara first if you want. Gaara, what'd you think of the whole thing?
Well, I think it's an awesome thing because it has awesome people in it, and
Yeah.
and it's just awesome. Like, I don't know.
The viewership was sick. I mean, I don't. Have we ever gotten more than? I think it maxed out at 48K. So like the max concurrent was at 48,000 at one point. I don't think we've ever seen a Hearthstone tournament outside of BlizzCon
That
be
was
that high. So that's pretty awesome. Uh,
well, one bad thing about it is I wasn't in it, so
yeah, yeah,
it can't
that's
be
true.
that great, right? No, just,
Oh man, I better not talk about my event then. Same thing. But
no.
Trump, any comments on it? Anything?
It was a well run uh,
Oh,
tournament,
okay, I
and
see.
I'm
Oh, okay,
glad
I
they
didn't even.
managed to
Okay,
pull it
okay.
off
All right.
without a
Here's the thing.
hitch,
Here's the thing.
and they really did well in bringing in the viewership.
Okay, here's the thing. The whole live thing was stupid drama, stupid stuff. I mean, we have like a million like events that are not live, so the whole thing was just kind of dumb. The whole drama that went around that. So I sorry if I brought it up and I made you uncomfortable because of that, but overall, I thought it was really really cool, and hopefully PvP live. It sounds like they're gonna do it like twice
Per
a
month.
month, which is kind of crazy in that studio. So be curious to see how more of them go. And Gaara, hopefully you and Trump will be participating in the next one. That'd be really cool to see.
Well,
Um,
what I like the most
yeah.
is Trump came really far. Like, how far was it in the end? Like top 3 or something? And he
Yep.
played Gaara ramp, like best deck ever.
That's right. Man, Gaara, strong man, definitely strong.
Like, how did you like the deck, Trump? Do you think it's a good deck for tournaments?
Yeah, it's a good deck and it's very solid. Uh, it's better in a meta where everyone's not running Black Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess lastly for me is I did want to I guess promote my event that I'm doing this Saturday. It's going to be the Deck Wars Season 1 finals. And what we're doing is we're putting the 12 winners of all the Deck Wars show matches that we've done up to date and going to have them battle it out. So let me just show you guys, I guess, the little marketing asset we put together here. So it's going to be Amaz, Tides, Savids, Kalento, Strife Crow, Kungin, Admirable, Ecop, Chalky, Monk, Forsen, and Alchemist. And they're going to be battling out for $1,000, $500 for second place. And all the matches are going to be live. And we'll be casting them live and they'll be played live and everything. So Saturday and Sunday we'll have the first round, just the first 6 matches head to head the first day on Saturday, and then the second day will be kind of this mini three-man group stage into the grand finals. Just the winners of the groups will go to the grand finals. So definitely check it out, guys. Me and Kayuki will be casting it. It's going to be, it's me and Machinima kind of partnering up for it. So it'll be on twitch.tv/Machinima, and it should be a good tournament. I mean, lots of great players there from EU and from NA, so really, really excited. Yeah, so check it out. It's going to start at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and actually both days will be 1 p.m. Eastern. Really, really excited. Been trying to organize this thing for weeks now. That's one of the reasons why we didn't have a Deck Wars this last week, is because just been wanting to get this down, the production, just the fact that it's live. Want it to be clean and not just your standard, just watching somebody's stream and that sort of bit. So, yeah, check it out. Trump, what you laughing at?
Oh man, live. That's gonna be really hard to pull off. I wish
Yeah.
you the best of luck. I'm sure
Thanks.
you need a lot of practice
We've
for
been
that.
practicing every single night, the last 2 nights, and then we're gonna practice the next 2 nights too, leading into Saturday. But it's been going really well, so really, really excited about it. And again, we're doing a different setup. I don't think anybody else in the community has done this particular setup, even though there are some other events like the King of the Hill that have done live type of things. But the setup that we're doing is a little bit different, and hopefully it'll be cleaner and really enjoyable for you guys. So wish me luck, and come and tune in and have a good time just with some of these awesome matches. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
best of luck. Be sure to tune in. It will be live.
That's
You
right.
heard it here first.
That's right, and I can confirm that Trump has said it. No crazy miscommunications that happened on that whole bit. But okay, guys, that's gonna be it for Value Town. So for Trump, Gaara, and ChanManV, we'll see you next time. Later.